Hey guys, welcome to Golf Ball Addict. I have another golf ball review for you today, as promised, coming in to finish off, the end of the Top Flite testing for now, because they just released their new models. But this is still kind of for the 2020 models that have been around for 2 years now. This is actually going to be the final one in that series. This is the Top Flite Gamer. So if you haven't seen the other Top Flite reviews, I haven't been really that much impressed. I reviewed the XL distance, I reviewed, the hammer distance, I reviewed the hammer control, as well as the Top Flite bomb. And to be honest with you, only one of them has gotten an average passing grade, and the rest I pretty much haven't recommended to anybody. So it's been pretty abysmal. I've been very disappointed, but I do have some hope, because this one right here, if you don't know, the Gamer is actually their 3-piece model. So this one's designed to be more for the intermediate player. This isn't for your, beginner golfer who's going to spray and lose 12 golf balls around. This one's for the guy who has gotten a little bit better, has been practicing, and wants to put a little bit of spin on their shots. All right, so let's get right into the design of the golf ball. Top Flite's new logo, of course, which I love. I definitely like the design they got there. Same font, but this time the numbering is green, because the Gamer, the whole idea of it is it's green, the boxes are green. They've been kind of color coding them depending. If we look on the side there at the alignment tool, it just says Gamer. That's pretty abysmal there. You can barely see it. It doesn't really help with your alignment. Not impressed there. I noticed with the newer models, they are coming out with a different type of alignment tool, which will be refreshing. I like, a lot of the golf balls like Vice and Cut, they're doing these bigger, thicker lines, and it really helps you line up your golf ball a lot. This one also continues the Top Flite pattern of doing the dimple and dimple design. Whether or not it helps your game, I'm not entirely sure yet, but it does definitely look a little unique. You're definitely going to be able to tell a Top Flite golf ball just based on that. I don't know of anyone else using a type of design like this. This one does feel a little plasticky on the top. It's not a urethane cover, so even though you are getting the 3-piece, you're getting the 3 layers, you're not getting a urethane cover, so it's going to have to spin a little bit more to make up the difference for not having the urethane. The iometer cover just doesn't stick to a green as well as a urethane does, so we will be testing that. All right, and before I get into the actual testing, I do want to say that this is something I happened to notice when I was doing my research, and on the back of the Top Flite boxes, they usually advertise what the ball's kind of designed for, whether it's more distance, or whether it's more feel, or whether it's more spin, yada, yada, yada. And if you look at the back of this box, as you can see, this says that this golf ball essentially is the creme de crop. It's, the top of the mountain. It has the most feel, and it has an 11 out of 10 distance, and it has just incredible spin, and I can go ahead and tell you right now that, without even seeing the numbers, that's a load of crap. This golf ball is $25 a dozen. It's 2 for $40, meaning $20 a dozen if you buy 2 of them. There ain't no way that those golf balls, maybe if you're comparing those numbers to Top Flite's other golf balls, I could see that, because they all tested so poorly. But compared to any other golf ball in the market, I'll just go ahead and tell you, those claims as far as marketing, that's just all hubbub. There's no way they're going to test like that, but we'll see. You never know. It might surprise me, but I'm just letting you know that there's no way the distance is going to be an 11 out of 10. There's other golf balls, such as the Titleist and the Mizuno RB that I know are going to be better for this price point. But let's go ahead and see what these numbers give us. So first of all, chipping and putting around the green. The first thing I noticed is that the Top Flite Gamer is a little firmer than the soft model. It's actually kind of right in the middle. So a lot of the distance golf balls I tested, like the XL distance and the hammer distance, they felt a little more firmer, especially the XL distance. It was more rock-like. This one actually is kind of in the medium of that. It has a little bit of firmness, a little bit of feedback to it, but it's not super soft any means like the hammer control was. That ball was more spongy and squishy. This one's right in the middle. It does feel like a Titleist True Soft or that Mizuno RB. It actually has that medium 70-ish compression range, maybe more toward the 80 side, but it does have firm and it does have feedback, and that's kind of nice. That's what I like, so I'm actually glad that this ball fits in there. It is the best feeling Titleist ball I've played so far. It comes off the wedges really nice. It does have a little bit more tug and a little bit more spin than the previous models. Pretty much every other Top Flite ball I've tested so far has been pretty much no spin. It's been pretty much just a roll and check immediately without any tug. This one's not that way. It does spin quite a bit, and you can see that. It does check up almost immediately, even when just chipping off the green. Coming off the putter, it really has a nice feel, because it just gives it just enough to give you some feedback, but it does spring off there. So there's a good feel there. I think that Top Flite did a very good job as far as that with the Gamer. So with that being said, let's go ahead and move right into these numbers here. Let's see what we got. Let's see how they compare. Hopefully, I'm hoping this one can be decent, since the other ones have not tested well. Let's get right into them. All right, so let's look at these numbers here. So 7 iron, we're looking at 6,515 spin, That is a lot of spin. As you can see, that spin number is very, very high. I said before that this ball would have to spin a lot to make up for the difference as far as not having the urethane cover, and that is a very, very high spin number for a 7-iron. As well as the ball speed. The ball speed's about average, not too bad there. But as you can see, the distance did take a little bit of a hit. That was pretty low, but that's because of the spin. Anytime you have a spin number that's that high, you've got to sacrifice something somewhere. It's going to be that distance for sure. The ball's going to balloon a little bit more. So yes, with a 7-iron, it'd be nice to kind of watch it hit the green and spin back a little bit, but you're going to lose a little bit of distance for that too, so you're going to have to adjust. All right, and from looking at the 5-iron numbers, I'm seeing something very similar. As you can see, the spin number, very, very high there, highest I've tested so far. Then we get into that 5 ball speed, which is about average. Yeah, again, average there. But if you look at the distance, though, actually, it must have a pretty decent launch angle there because the distance was actually pretty good. That's actually very impressive. It's one of the best I've gotten so far, especially with the total distance and carry. Both those numbers are very, very good. That's impressive there. Let's get into the hybrid. Maybe it'll compress even better there. Again, very high spin. So this ball does spin. That's very apparent. We'll have to see with the driver, but so far on all the first 3, the spin has been highest I've tested so far. Very nice distance numbers. Again, that's very good to see there. The carry, the total distance, all of that is among the best for sure. One thing I'm also seeing here is I'm seeing that the majority of launches are a little bit in the higher zone, which is not a bad thing. Guys with an average swing speed like mine, or even an average to fast, it does help to get the ball up in the air a little bit more. With the more spin, I thought that would kind of hurt, but I gotta be honest with you, the ball's compressing really well. I'm getting some great distance numbers out of those, which is awesome. It's not quite an 11 out of 10, but it is really good. It's actually better than anticipated, so that's awesome. And of course, moving into the driver, the big stick. So we're looking at actually about a medium amount of spin there, which is pretty good. Love the spin number. It's right in that sweet spot. And then if we look at the ball speed, it's about average there. Nothing too spectacular with the driver. And then driver distance appears to be, that's about in the average zone too. So with the driver, maybe the ball just wasn't compressing enough with the driver. Sometimes that happens. We're off of a 3 hybrid and my 5-iron, it compresses really well. And then once it gets to the driver, it's kind of losing some distance because it's compressing too much. That seems to be the case here. My swing speed's in that 90 to 95 mile an hour zone. So if yours is near that too, you might see just an average or so driver number. But as far as the iron play and everything, those numbers seem pretty good. And the driver launch, of course, was a little bit on that higher side as well. Not quite the highest I've ever tested, but it definitely is on the higher side. So something to be aware of. You're going to get a lot more lift, a little bit more carry, but if it's on a windy day and the wind's against you, you might not want that higher ball flight. This ball definitely isn't going to be piercing through any wind, that's for sure. All right, so honestly, there's some pretty good numbers there. I'm very impressed with those numbers. They definitely are more than passable for sure. Let's get into the durability, which Top Flite promises is great. I'm not sure what their definition of great is, but it isn't this for me. Granted, the Top Flite balls, there has to be a sacrifice somewhere anytime you have a ball that's this cheap. $20 a dozen when you buy 2 is pretty darn cheap for a 3-piece golf ball, even with an iometer cover. So there has to be a sacrifice somewhere. And obviously, it's definitely going to be on the durability. You can see there, my golf dot didn't even last. It's completely shredded, which means the cover's kind of coming off pretty quick and bouncing around once it gets compressed. There's some definite scratches there. There's a couple minor rips and tears, so I would say it's probably average. The other Top Flite balls I've tested have been abysmal. By the time I get done with my test, they're tore up, they're ripped, they're shredded. This one actually is the only one that really passes. You could play 18 probably with this and get by just fine. So that's definitely a passing grade. Not the best I've ever tested, but right in that middle zone. So that's actually good to see. So all in all, I'm very relieved. After testing the other Top Flite golf balls, I was beginning to think they were all pretty much a sham, and I was going to have to tell you just to stay away completely, but that's not the case with the Top Flite Gamer. It's not going to blow anyone away. It's not going to turn you into an amazing golfer, and it's not probably going to help your game in any way, but it offers intermediate players a very good golf ball that you can get some spin out of, figure out how to work the ball a little bit, play around with it, and not have to worry about losing it so much because it is at such a great price point. The numbers were much better than I expected. Nowhere near what Top Flite seems to think of them, but they are passing and they will actually be able to hold their own on the golf course against a lot of their competitors, which is really all they needed. With the new 2022 models coming out soon, I'll try to get a review on those as well. But for now, if you still go into your local Dick's and you happen to see the old ones, I would definitely stick with the Gamer. And I'll be honest with you, even if you're kind of a beginner and you're still learning the game, I would still go with this one just because I don't think you're going to get any type of performance that's worth noting out of those other golf balls. So even if you find yourself saying, hey, I'm a very beginner, I don't, you know, I'm just learning how to hit the club, I would still probably recommend something like this for now, just based on what I've tested, because it is at a good price point, $20 a dozen, and honestly, you know, with the way Dick's offers coupons and rewards and stuff, you might be able to get them even a little bit cheaper than that, and they will satisfy, and I think the durability helps. So if you do happen to get them to last a while, that's good. Guys, as always, I appreciate you being here. Keep watching and keep saving and keep learning. Got some more golf ball reviews coming your way. Also, very excited. There's actually Golf Fest coming to Tampa soon, so I'll be going to that. That's where, you know, a lot of these companies are going to be there. There's going to be booths. They're going to be showing off new clubs. I'm going to get to test them all, and I'm very excited to bring what is going to happen with that to you guys as well. I'm very interested to test these new drivers, new irons, and kind of give you guys some highlights as far as, you know, what I like and what I didn't like. But that'll be coming up soon. That's February 11th and 12th. So hopefully, you know, about a week after that, here in the middle of February, I can have that video for you. Very excited about that. But otherwise, I still got more ball reviews coming. I got some tech reviews coming. And guys, I appreciate you being here.